therefore the youth don't really have anything. So what do you think we can do to make that become countries?
There's need to call for going back to respecting human life, human dignity. Although religion came from the Western world, but they have neglected it.
Yes.
Because of the so-called development, advance in technology, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They need to respect life more than they respect technology.
And that is one of the main problems on today. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live and direct here at the moment. We are on the Outya show. To you guys over here on the Realicom Promotions, to you guys on YouTube, and to you here on the Remain Camera live and direct, and you guys on Facebook here. I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here in our Outya show. This is real life situation, and this is things that is happening at the moment. We are live and direct with Mr. Mankwesi all the way from over there in Kenya, and we're getting a good vibes. Even if you can't see him, I hope you guys over there, you guys join in. Tell us what you think. Tell us if anything that, Mr. Coffee is saying that is up to date, because he's in Africa and we are inside here in the UK, and there's so much things happening, but we are so far apart, but then we are also connected, and we need to keep the connection together. I think one of the things that can maybe basically help, as what you were saying, and Mr. Coffee, we need to remember who we are and have more communities, and also a morality. So here we go. May I ask Mr. Coffee, so what can we do to bring back certain moralities within us? Because I can see that nowadays, back home you would have like with the youths and stuff like that, parent could mostly parent their children. Inside here in the Western society and stuff like that is a little bit different. Do you think that have to have a way to how the children behave at times, knowing that basically they have somewhere else to turn to, or somebody who can direct them or something like that, that they don't really listen to their parents or stuff like that? Or you think it's just peer pressure?
One, there's a bit of peer pressure that is very true.
Yeah.
But we should encourage as Africans something called exchange program.
Exchange program.
Exchange program.
Tell me about that exchange program. Oh, you went. I can't hear. The voice went. Hold on. Hello. Gone. So Mr. Cossi there is live and direct here on the line, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to tell us something very important. Why is it that when we are supposed to hear something very important like this, then something like this happens? Mr. Coffee is online at the moment. I can't hear you, Mr. Coffee. I think the volume went down. Could you touch something? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Okay, we'll come back to him later.
Yeah. So we come back to you later, Mr. Coffee. Just continue joining, because we would love to hear a little bit more from you. I would love to really hear about this exchange program. So if you can write a few bits and pieces for me here inside the live, that would be really great, because I would love to take up more on that, and I would love to talk to you a little bit more as we go by. Thank you so much for being here on the Outya show. This is real life situation, and you have shared some real life situation with us at the moment. I wanted to hear a bit more from you, but whenever time your volume come back, please come back and join me, and we can finish this conversation. Okay? Yeah, let's take a break as we go by. Turn up the tune. Yeah. Papa, no
Conversation just start getting warm up.
Yeah, the conversation just not get warm up now. That is because that is the solution, you know, Faithy. Okay. Mama no cry. So let's see what some of my people have to say over here. All right, so we are gonna go now to Oh, thingy is saying it's very low. The Unique Vision crew, they're saying that it is very low at the moment. They can't really hear. The reason why it was very low, guys, because we were talking on the laptop, so we couldn't really hear on that one. But we're gonna talk on the phone now. Thank you so much for that update. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
They can hear better now?
Hmm?
They can hear better now?
You know, I think the laptop was a bit low.
Yeah, ask them if they can hear good now.
Oh, can you hear better now? If you can hear better, please send me a wave or something or whatever you can. If you can hear me a little bit better right now, all right? So now we're gonna continue. We're gonna make some phone calls now, and we're gonna talk to a few of our guests about the real life. I think I should put that a bit closer, Ben, because they said that they
okay.
can't.
All right, they can't hear you. Okay.
Wait a minute. Let me just do this. Okay. So Joshua, yes, boss. Welcome, Leon. Welcome, Cess. Welcome, Adishiola. Welcome, everybody. How you guys doing? Share your little tips, guys, if you have to. We just have the man out there from Africa at the moment. Just came online just now and just gone, all right? So we're going to talk a little bit more about this situation. Now, we're going to bring in two mothers inside at the moment. So, guys, are you ready? If you can put it on the floor, but I think I make it tall. Are you ready? If you're ready, just hit me up. Let me know, because we're going to do this right now, all right? Here we go. Put this here. Is it low? You set up there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was it. That was the man himself, Kwashi, all the way over there, from Kenya, and he has tell us a little bit about what is happening out here in a real life situation inside Kenya at the moment. We're gonna call him back very soon. And we're going to have a little bit of conversation with him as we go by. Because straight away, as soon as I came on board, he just basically just chip in. Put this over there for me, please, Ben. So I can see. Put it on top of there. On the ground, if you want to. Okay. So, we're ready for round 2. Are you guys ready? Let's go. Play the music. Play number... And the brutality. That's Father Cats at the moment. Playing on the deck. Mama no cry. Papa no cry. Them can't. And you know that they want. Next one. Yo!
The wonders of God. Hosanna in the highest. Blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. He who sits on the cherubims. For we still find ourselves in confusion.
Still fighting!
Fighting.
Still exploiting!
Still exploiting.
Upon that
You know
slot.
what onslaught.
Alright, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is we're gonna do this.
Coming Prince of Peace.
Hail the
Hail
King.
the King.
Hail
Hail
the
the Son
King.
of righteousness. For indeed there is life.
We're ready, let me know.
And without thee there is death. Yeah. But for the brotherhood of man, there is no fee, no class, no color, no creed. Only love you need to
All the
qualify.
way down. All the way down. Welcome back. Welcome back over there. How you guys doing? Welcome back to my YouTube fans. Welcome back to Facebook, and welcome to you guys over there on Instagram. It's absolutely amazing, and welcome to you guys over here. Mwah. Love you guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live right here, and welcome to the Outya show. We're talking about real life situation. Yes, we're talking about situation that is happening within us, within inside the UK, within inside abroad, within inside our homes, within inside our children, within inside with everyone, basically everything that's happening out here. All right, so we were talking a little bit about real life situation, and we're talking about the youth, and we're talking about religion, we're talking about dementia, apprenticeship, and all those more about the youth. So I'm gonna go into a little bit of the religion at the moment, and not a religion. May I ask, because there's a lot of knife crime going on in this town at the moment, and we left off that, so we're gonna go on that. We have a few minutes left, guys, so I'm just gonna make it very quickly, right? And at the moment, there's too much knife crime. Like since in London, there's so many kids already died from these stabbings, and I think as what Mr. Cressy said, like we're short of morality, and we need to basically have a bit more moral for our own, for people out there and things like that. But before we basically finish on that line about the youths and the knife crime, because we need to speak to someone else who's going to tell us a bit more. All right, so we're going to touch a little bit of on apprenticeship and also on that. So may I, but before I do so, I'm going to call a guest, right? We're going to call a mom, because the most important people who need to talk to about these things are mothers and people who are in, inside this situation that that has children and stuff like that. I myself am a mother as well, and I do have children as well, and there's so much of everyday life that we go through and things like that, and we have to assess and we have to find out anyway. So here we go. We're gonna call one of our guests, and we are going to talk a little bit about the Outya show. All right, and about real life situation of what's happening at the moment. So the phone is on dial at the moment as we speak. Hi, how you doing? Hello. All right, just 1 minute for me, please, my darling. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we have a mom on the phone, and we're gonna discuss a little bit more about apprenticeship and about the life crime and stuff like that is going on within the UK, and what we can do basically to kind of eradicate that little thing as parents. So the best person to speak to is a parent, because we all are parents and we are of the children, as we say. So here we have a mom on the phone. Hello, mom. How are you? How are you doing?
Hi, I'm blessed. Hope everybody's blessed and having a great Sunday evening.
Are you guys?
It's a pleasure being on the show with you today, Princess. We're always discussing about these things that's affecting our society, so it's really good.
I'm telling you,
Mom.
mom.
Kind of highlighting these things and bringing it forward, because sometimes people are kind of scared to discuss these things.
Trust me. Trust me, and there's a lot of children at the moment who's affected a lot of these things, and sometimes we get scared of the youths. Do you think we as mothers, we get scared of the youths?
I wouldn't use the word scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a bit difficult for some parents, especially mothers, single mothers, to kind of identify with their kids.
Yes.
Because kids mature in stages, right? So they go from being a baby to a toddler, from a toddler to adolescence, from adolescence to puberty, from puberty to adulthood.
Yeah.
So it's all stages. So you have to be able to identify when your child is going from one stage to another. Bear in mind that everybody matures at different pace.
Yes.
Now, a 12-year-old might have the mind of a 16-year-old. A 16-year-old might have the mind of a 12-year-old. So it's all about paying keen attention to your kids.
Definitely.
It's a bit difficult to kind of pinpoint a lot of things. Reason being, your child at home might be a different child in a different environment. So environment plays a key role as well.
Yes.
So it's good for us as parents to kind of get familiar with our kids, get in their minds, get in their heads. Pick them, know what they're thinking, know what they like, know what do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
yes.
When the changes start taking place and that process is happening, you're able to kind of see and say, okay, my son is changing.
Yes.
Let me keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Saying this to say that when they're out there in say for example they're at schools and there's a lot of things that kind of contribute to the crime that's going on. And it starts from, I think, labeling.
Yes.
When I talk about labeling, I'm talking about if that 25 years ago, if a group of young men were gathered together, they were considered as friends.
Yeah.
Nowadays, if a group of young men are gathered together, they're labeled as a gang.
Gangs. Yeah.
Now, the gang carries a particular stigma.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what the word gang means.
Yes. Bad.
As you say gang, it gets up to no good.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, them creating that labeling stigma, it kind of creates an environment. Now, in order for these things to get into the level of knife crime that we're experiencing in the UK at this present moment, as a government and everybody is like they know physically what's going on, but they're sweeping it under the carpet because it's not really their priority, is it?
Yeah.
It's not bringing them much money, is it?
Yeah.
So also, at the end of the day, like us as parents, the important role that we need to play in our kids' lives, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes we're so busy busting our brains on how to make money so we can make two ends meet and survive.
We forget
about our it's hard. It's hard. So it's all about communicating, building that bond, that reassurance that that child has someone to confide in, someone to talk to. You know, back in the days, like, we could ask our parents certain questions just to look alone, you know.
Yeah, I know. Definitely, I can relate. Yes.
Yeah, so we've experienced that as adults, and for us it was a bit uncomfortable because then we had to bottle up a lot of things and deal with it on our own.
Definitely.
Now we know the effect that can cause on someone, so we're here now to kind of make a generational change.
Yes.
In terms of helping our kids to open up and feel free of talking about certain things rather than going out there to strangers, because when they go to strangers, not everyone knows how to deal with like, for example, if you're Jamaican or African, or it's all a cultural thing. Because we were brought up, so we want to pass that down.
Yes.
And the survival skills that we were given when we were growing up, in my mind, like based on what I've seen happening in society today, the kids they haven't got that.
No.
They haven't got that survival mentality.
No.
So for them, it's the first thing that comes to their mind. Instead of one has a fight where they're fist fighting or they're punching up each other or whatever, they're thinking about
stabbing each other.
Yeah.
So look, can I ask you, Lisa, because this is very rare. You know, we would say back home and to the kid, you know, back home, like inside of some of the Caribbean or the West Indies and stuff like that, they have like, you know, a knife and a machete or so forth, as I asked the man before in Kenya. You can find that people carry these stuff on a daily basis, like they go to their work, their tool, like, you know, to plant their yams, bananas or whatever, things like this, right? But you rarely heard somebody getting stabbed or a chop, or maybe if it's just a fight. But within here, and those things are very like free to get off hands very quickly because people carry them on a daily basis. So what do you think is really causing that occurring? As what we say, even though we know you have explained a little bit, you know, you explain a lot about, which we can understand because I think everybody can relate to that. But in certain countries, you do not have the amount of knife crime that you have here. What do you think, like, I don't know. Do you think is there a trend or a cult, or is there something that is causing like this knife business for these children to be just shocking each other without even thinking about it?
Okay. It's good that you asked that question. A lot of people wouldn't know, or they would just see the crimes and probably think, "Oh my days, did someone really do that?" Now, what's happening with our youths, and this is something that needs to be nipped in the bud, right? How these youths operate is they get high by whatever means, whether it's popping a molly pill or taking whatever it is they need to get high.
Yes.
Now, the moment they're in that zone, they're not thinking clear. That's how they're able to execute these crimes. Right? I'm no expert. I'm not qualified to be talking on this. This is just based on...
From a mom. But a mom is the most qualified person because their moms are the one who face first on and off.
Sometimes my explanation might come across as a diagnosis to other people that are listening and not understanding where I'm coming from at the root. But I'm just saying to kind of put things out there.
I know.
Now, drugs play a contribution factor to the knife crime and why it's escalating at the rate that it's escalating. Because imagine if all the youths are high and everyone thinks, I'm high, I'm in this zone, I'm better than the next man, innit? So I'm just going to prove my thing. What you saying? Like,
all right.
You get what I'm saying? So it's all about that moment. Bear in mind, if you see one of them youths, like when they're banged up after the whole moment of the stabbing and everything, if you go and visit one of them in prison, they're sorry, they're crying. They can't believe they've done that crime.
Yes. So you think that it's because of the brain? They're so duped up that they do stuff when they're duped up, they never realize.
It's the drugs and the environment that's contributing to the level of knife crime that's happening.
All right. So how do you think we can change that then, as parents, differently from the government? Because
as parents, it's a little bit difficult for us to change it now. Check the statistics. A few years ago, the government decided, okay, let's reduce policing by 49%.
Yes.
Was that a wise thing to do? No.
No.
You reducing security for the country, that's allowing the border's strength to
Yes.
grow weaker.
Yes.
Relying on artificial intelligence alone is not going to stop what's happening.
No.
You need physical force on ground.
Yes.
Now, if the borders are weak, that means anything can come into the country and go right. That's where the drugs are accessing. It's seeping through. A lot of like people from all over the world. I'm not going to just say one nation or whatever. I'll just say people from all over the world. They're coming in, so it's becoming more diverse than what it was before. So you find out that more diverse people are coming in. They're introducing things that they're used to into the culture. These kids nowadays, they don't know how
to say no.
To say no and to cope on these things because they make it look so glittery as if it's gold. You can't live without it. This is the way to go. It's the new trend. Which it's not. It's all a deception. It's all a delusion. It's not real. But when you try to educate people on these things, it's a very sensitive and delicate subject, and that person needs to be on a particular level to kind of be able to understand and relate of where you're coming from and what's the root of causing. Yeah, so it's actually deeper than what the physical eye is seeing because the physical eye is only seeing what's on the news. Oh, 2 more youths got stabbed today again, or what's on the radio. Do you get what I'm saying? It don't elaborate
on really what is causing this and what can we do to eradicate it. So ladies and gentlemen, you hear it. We are live and direct here on the Outya show with we have a host on the phone at the moment. We have a beautiful mom and we're talking about real life situation, what is happening out here at the moment, because there's so many life crimes, gun crimes, and a lot of things is happening. So the only person that we know that can eradicate that or try to either calm the situation and stuff is maybe us as mothers to our youths and stuff like that. And most mothers, they do not know how to go about it. And we're not going to say they, we, most don't know how to go about it. So therefore, we have to find different solutions and stuff like that. We have to talk to, each other. We have to talk to moms or find other ways of assessing these problems. Here we have a mom on the phone and she's making so much sense, guys, and I hope that you guys out there can listen and hear. And if you have any input or anything like that that you guys wanted to input inside, please drop us a message and let us know. And do you agree with what she's saying? Do you disagree with what she's saying? Let us know. We're on the phone live and direct here with the Lady Lisa. Stay tuned.
Ben wants to Ben wants to say something.
Okay, yeah, no problem. So we're not finished yet. So Lady Lisa, mom, on the phone at the moment. So we was just touching on basically how we can eradicate it and stuff like that. Do you think that broken family does this have a big role play within these kind of incidents that is happening here? Do you think that? And what is causing this trade? Because I notice some of the time, differently from the drugs, do you think that the clothes, the fashion, and things like this causes a lot of these crimes as well? Because there's not really a lot of, not say 100% of them are used to, the drugs and things like that. Do you think there's a little bit of peer pressure also?
Like I said earlier, there's a lot of factors that contribute to the crime that we're facing today. Now, these trends start for various reasons.
Yeah.
Which we all know, love begins at home.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We've got these kids. They're growing up so fast. Things are happening. They're in mixed environments. Peer pressure is contributing. Broken home is contributing. That's where it's just a single mom.
Yes, yes.
The dads are probably outside.
Yeah,
the
just
mom and
said
the dad
before.
probably don't have like a mutual relationship just for the understanding of the kids.
Yes,
now,
yes.
what we as adults need to realize and take responsibility for is we bring these precious souls into this world. It's our duty as a parent. They don't come with a manual. They're unpredictable. So we just need to go with it as it goes. They're growing, we're growing as well.
Yes.
We learn about each other. Now, in a broken home where the dad's not there and all the pressure is left on the mom, it kind of leaves room for these things to take place.
Yes.
And then one thing develops into the other.
Because they only have one parent to do it.
Where fashion and those trends fall into social media. Now, the pressure that the internet change has been putting on society, not even the government is able to control everything.
Wow.
Social media is destroying us. It's destroying us to the extent where some of us, we're not even living a real life. We're living an illusion.
It's
just
true.
to feel a presence on social media. It is wrong.
Not
We
just
need to stop destroying ourselves.
not just the children as well, adults as well, Mom.
Adults as well, and for that reason, we're not able to identify with our kids because we're so caught up in this thing.
Yes.
You know, trying to keep up with the internet, trying to keep, and your child is there begging you, keep up with me, keep up with me. The child is also engaged in social media as well. You know, they're on Snapchat, they're on Instagram, they're on Pinterest, they're on all of these platforms.
Yes.
Seeing these different things happening, and in their head they're thinking, I want to be like this, I want to be like that. There was an incident that took place the other day where I think it's a 14-year-old, she was on Instagram and there was so much pressure she ended up committing suicide.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Condolences out there to the mom and the family at the moment for that one, Mike. You see, this is what I'm saying, that
That's the effect that
Yeah.
these things are having on us as a society. Now, imagine a 14-year-old being on Instagram, seeing all these beautiful ladies out there. Some of them have had their bodies modified to be perfection.
Yeah.
What they think is perfection.
Yeah.
Now, a 14-year-old growing up is still at no stage to determine what her final body results are going to be. She's still developing.
True.
So in her head, she thinks, I need to be at that stage. I can't wait till my body development is moving too slow.
She needs a big breast, she needs a big bum, she needs a small waist, you know, she needs everything
that's
that's
perfect face. I need a face beat, so I need to be doing all of these things. And pressure. Now, if it's a single mom and maybe that mom's working like a part-time job, she's probably on benefits or stuff like that. It kind of puts pressure on you to kind of keep up with the trend that's going on out there. Now, for that reason, we need to learn to teach our kids to have patience and wait. Now, sometimes you might be in a position to provide your child with everything that they request. However, if the child requests something and you have the money that you can say, go and get the latest Air Max or go and get the latest feeder or whatever trainers is trending at the moment. You need to teach your child patience.
Yes.
You turn to the child and say no, even though in your head you know you're able to afford it.
You tell him wait.
Teach that child patience. Watch and see the reaction that child's going to give you.
Yeah.
That will determine the kind of advice and grooming that you would give to that child to prepare them for the world out there, because it's very cruel.
All right, so we put that down, grooming and advice. You hear that, guys? A bit of grooming and a little bit of advice and stuff like that. A bit of holding back, even if you can give them a lot. That can help as well to eradicate this situation. Welcome on board, everybody. Leon, Scarlett, Cess, Paul, Tim Bell, and Timothy. How you doing? Pick up yourself. Long time. Adiola, Debo, and everyone on board. Just welcome and thank you guys so much. We have a mom online at the moment, Lady Lisa here. Run the track and we shall we continue. This is so interesting, guys. I won't keep it too long, Lady Lisa. We just have one more topic to speak to you on, and then I'm gonna let you go with your beautiful self, because I know that is late at the moment. So I would like to ask a little about this, because before we jump off the knife crime and all of these things to eradicate it, I just want to leave a little, because the purpose of this show is basically to identify and see if we can make a solution, because it don't make sense we identify, we talk about it, and then we don't find a solution, right?
Right?
Yes.
To come together, put this together.
Yes. So a solution for this, I would think, like, some of the notes that I've taken down from you here. You're saying that keen attention is all to do with our environment, so we need to watch out some more, labeling and gang and stuff like that. These one breeds a lot of different things. You talk about the family, and then looking into them, grooming them, advise them, test them out and see how they are. Pay more keen interest to them. And that can enable them to become a bit better. But may I ask this one? May I be contradicted a little bit? Yeah. What about all those parents that has done all these things by these children, and they just decided that, look, I need a fast life, or like I just want to be out there or whatever. Like, how do you cope with that, and what do you think is the cause of that one?
When you say all these parents that do all these things, be a little bit bit more specific.
Like in a sense of, all right, okay, so you're saying that because what causes the crime is we don't really pay too much attention. We don't really paying keen attention to our children about the gang, the stuff like that. Much of advice, because as I said, we're so much, and there are people, there are moms out there that are so much like into the media, or into so many things, going out there making money. They have not even realized. So that can cause the factor for children going out because not too much attention. What about the moms and the parents who do all of that, who give them attention, making sure that they're on point, they're into school and their stuff like that? Do you think also those parents that is onto those children like that, making sure that everything is okay, it can cause a negative effect on them? Because some of these children, I see a lot of parents that actually do really good, but the children, they just decided that, look, I need a fast life, mates.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to, environment again. Like I said, your child at home that you're giving all this love and attention and care and nurturing to is a completely different child in a completely different environment.
Yeah, environment. Let me put that down.
So it comes back down to environment again. Now, you could be giving your child the world.
Yeah.
Like they would say back home in Jamaica, you could be giving that child downtown and parade, it don't make a difference.
Yeah, they will still go out if they
when
want
that
to.
child go out, let me give you an example, quick one.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, like when my son was 5, he was in primary school, and I got this letter home saying that they're going to be having sex education class and how the reproductive system works.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, at the age of 5, this is too much on a 5-year-old. Why would they even think of this?
Yeah.
So I opted out. I said, no way I'm allowing my child to go into that class.
Yeah.
Now, that was, at the time, I thought it was a right decision.
Yes.
It wasn't a carefully thought out decision.
Yes.
Reason being why I said that. My child did not go to that class.
Yeah.
But on the same day, he was able to come home and started asking me questions about the female reproductive system and how to have oral sex instead of penetrative sex, because oral sex reduces the risk of STDs and HIV and
Can you imagine at the age of 5?
Yes, but then I said to my son, where did you get this from? Because I didn't allow you to go to that class. He said, my friend told me in the playground.
Oh my God. So environment again. Environment. Yeah. Environment.
So you can be thinking you're protecting
them.
Your women, you're loving your child on one hand, but when the child is not with you, because we're not going to be with our kids 24/7.
No, definitely.
We're not. So they're going to be out there, they're going to be talking and relating to other kids, and they're going to share the knowledge that they have. Now, bear in mind that that child may be more advanced than your child when it comes onto certain things, because maybe they're allowed to watch certain things, maybe they're allowed to go certain places.
Yes.
When the kids meet up in the playground or wherever mutual that they meet up,
Yes.
they exchange these information, and then your child starts thinking, am I missing out on something?
Yes.
Or am I the not so cool one here? Everybody else is cool because they're doing what's trending, but because I'm not doing what's trending, then I'm not cool. I don't fit in. So that's where the peer pressure comes in.
Yeah.
Kids think they need to do certain things, act a certain way to fit in. So it's a combined effort, and it's really, really difficult. It's really hard. But at the end of the day, like, if you try to meet halfway, you probably end up getting 85 to 90%, which is better than 100%. Trust me.
Yeah, definitely. I really.
They're gonna make mistakes. They're gonna slip up. We all do. Nobody's perfect. We have to make mistakes and go through it, get some bus off and all of these things to be who we are today.
True. That's so true.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah. So it's creating a balance.
Definitely.
Creating a balance, and it's a real struggle, like I said, because the environment outside is a complete environment compared to your home.
All right.
Solution.
Thank you so much for that, Lady Lisa, Mom. That is very, very brilliant of you. I've taken on so many positive points that you have just made here, and I hope a lot of mothers there can actually take these things on board and really look into it. So the solution, as you're saying, a little bit of more. Yeah, we'll come back for the solution in a bit. We're gonna play a little bit. Thank you guys so much. So you guys online, if you're here and then you want to join in the conversation, please do so. All you guys over here on the world.com. We have a mom on the phone at the moment, Lady Lisa. about young people. We're talking about knife crime. We talk about religion and stuff. Do you think? May I ask you? Let's turn it down. One more question before. Okay, so we're gonna come now about the as we said, solution. One of the solution you say as that we need to listen to them more and stuff like that. Do you think that religion? Do you think the church can help to save them a little bit?
Let me ask you to be a bit more specific because there's a difference between if you're talking about religion in quotation, it's traditional. So are you saying religion or the church? Because religion goes by a completely different book.
No, definitely. Religion, as you know, you have Christianity, Jewish and stuff like that. But when I say religion,
we know that religion is there to divide and rule. So if you're talking about the morals of the church.
No, I would rather to say, because the reason why I've also mentioned this also, there's this church, this thing called Space Nation. There's this group of young people, basically church and young people who they're going around and basically I think they are recruiting people and stuff like that. They're all basically about people who have been to prison already or into job crime or stuff like that. So if you want to come forward and put your life forward and things like that. Do you think that is a positive set for today's society or stuff like that, and there's more things can be put in place like these to make it happen?
Me personally, I can't speak for Space Nation because I don't really know a lot about them. I'd have to check them out for myself to see. But saying this to say that bringing up our kids used to be a community effort. It's no longer that. So if you're saying that the church can play a more active role, yes and no. Reason why I've said yes and no. Yes, there are positive things that happen inside the church and there's negative things that happen inside the church that can go either way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes organizations, people, it's all about having a balance, a harmony.
Yes.
Now, it depends on the reason why these people are coming together. Some of them might see it as an opportunity to take advantage of the kids.
Yeah.
While some of them might genuinely want to create a space to help these kids.
Yes. Yes.
So it's just identifying again.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just identifying the ulterior motive of all of these things.
Yes. Clearly understood and clearly, explained and things like that. I do think.
Yeah, 1 second, just to say this, some things are deeper than the physical eye.
Yes.
Yeah. So we need to be able to discern the ulterior. You might not see at the beginning.
Yeah. But we need to see.
But you can see particular trends, and if you engage in certain things, it's all about educating yourself.
Definitely.
And growing and laughing and loving.
No. Thank you so much, Lady Lisa. That was very, very interesting of you, and you touched some go on. You touched some unique points there, and thank you so much. We're gonna go into ladies and gentlemen, if you're out there and you wanted to join in, then this is what you do. You can either send us a text or you can send us an email. To do it like a Jamaican in Britain at the moment, we are talking about the kids, what's happening in the UK at the moment and around the world, and how we can resolve this situation by parents and stuff. As you talk about education, let's go into it very quickly, and then we're going to bring in Ben and we're going to bring in Facey with us at the moment and stuff. We're going to wrap up very quickly. Do you think that in education, do you think that apprenticeship, or do you think that it is more beneficial for children that goes into primary, secondary, stuff like that, colleges, and then going to university and maybe go and find a thing of their own, a profession of their own, or their own career path?
I would say, first of all, university is a business.
Okay, right.
It's a business before it's an institution.
All right.
Now, the fees to go to university, for me, that's like extortion. Now, you don't necessarily need a university degree to get a proper job.
Yeah.
While apprenticeship, you can learn and earn at the same time.
Yeah.
Now, I've been in a position where in my previous job, I had colleagues there that went to uni for like 3 to 5 years to acquire a diploma or a degree to be working where I was working.
Wow.
And they got the degree and the diploma. I didn't have one, but we were still getting the same wages.
Wow.
But they've got a lifetime debt hanging over their head.
Wow. So that is because, and that is just because of the apprenticeship deal that you get, or it's just.
I just applied for the job and just went through the whole process.
Okay, understood.
So the point I'm trying to make is, if you get to a certain level of your education, it doesn't necessarily mean like if you don't go to uni or you don't get an apprenticeship that you're not going to get the dream job that you like, or you're not going to get a job that's able to maintain and sustain you and your lifestyle. What I'm trying to say is, when the kids get to a particular age and they've done their GCSEs and they're thinking about what's the next level to go on to.
Yeah.
Some of the times it's their mindset and what they want to move on to and what society tells them you need to have this to get that.
Yes. So you think apprenticeship is good?
I think apprenticeship is good.
Yeah.
Because some apprenticeship you can earn and learn at the same time.
Yeah.
While university for me, like I said, it's a business before it's an institution. That's just my opinion.
And then after going to universities and stuff like that, you still have to apply for the job that you and things and
you still may not get the job that you went to university for like 3 to 5 years. You probably end up doing menial jobs just to survive.
Yeah. But do you feel that also university is important for children to go to?
When you say important, how do you mean?
Because like in important to basically guide them in their everyday life, just as in
I wouldn't say it's the most important
apprenticeship.
What's the guy's name that owns Virgin again?
Richard Branson?
Yeah. He didn't go to university.
No, he did not.
He's one of the richest men in the world today. So it just goes to show you, it's about determination, your drive, your ambition, your potential. It's all about that rather than that. Education is on a piece of paper, but what's in your mind, no one can take that away.
Right. You touched some very good points here, because we have a bit of conversation last time on the show about the same one, about apprenticeship and education. Do you think it is important for university, for people to go university or not? And really, as you said, we came to that same conclusion. I think that university, is if you're going for a particular job, maybe for a doctor or a nurse or so, then that's maybe is more important.
Got some white collar jobs,
Yeah,
which you definitely. Hello, listeners, and this is Ben in the studio with Princess. We've been talking about education, whether you need a formal education or you need a vocational education. When you talk about vocational education, that means you got crafts and skills. Okay. On the academic side, that's when you go and read books in Cambridge and Huddersfield and places like that for particular professions. Certain professions actually need you to go for these vocational ones. Another lot needs you to go for these the education that you will get in Huddersfield, Leicester's and so on, universities and so on. Because if you're going to be a nurse, you would rather have a formal education. Do you get it? And then if you're going to be a legal person, an accountant, an engineer, you probably need a formal education. Now, there's certain areas in this society and every society in the world where we do need manual labor, we need semi-skilled laborers, and then we need really highly skilled labor. Highly skilled doesn't mean you've been to university. It just basically means that you are into methodical style of work where your attention is needed almost 24/7. So you're not necessarily a professor. You could be a programmer. Programmers are not necessarily degree holders. Do you get it? So, but these guys some of them are much clever than a doctor. Right. So it gets to a point where we must know who needs a formal education out of our kids. We might have 3 kids, only one of them might be good enough for a formal education, while the others are very good with craft work and things like that. Now, it's the parents who will have to identify those things.
How do we identify those things as parents within our children?
Well, everything depends on how you yourself as a parent came up as a young person and so on and so forth. If you're a young person who has a craftsmanship and you're pretty good with it,
Yes.
you'll probably encourage your own children to go along the lines that you know about. Now, if you're somebody who came out of the university and all you ever do is basically read books and then you become an MP
Yeah.
in the House of Commons,
Yes.
you'll probably encourage your children to go along those lines too.
well.
So that's how things works in life. If you're a carpenter, the chances are that you bring your child into carpentry and make him know all the rules of the game.
Yeah.
So this is the way to go, but don't look down on any kid who's good with craftsmanship, because this is the general thinking that if you're not into formal education
you're
you're
not
nobody.
no good. Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that. I would rather recommend you go to school up to maybe about a polytechnic level, so that you can at least know certain things in life that others struggle to grasp with.
Yeah,
So if children can go up to polytechnic level, and that helps a lot, because when you do come out and you decide, oh, I'd rather be a carpenter, then you be an educated carpenter.
Yeah. All right.
If you're going to be
I understand.
if you're going to be a singer, then you be a very educated singer. So and
that will help you to become even a bit more evolved.
Yeah, you become more business-like in your approach to life, and rather than just saying I want to sing for the sake of singing, that's not going to bring food to your table if you're just singing for the sake of singing.
No,
So
definitely not.
This is why sometimes formal education would be nice up to a point, and not necessarily everybody going to university, because going to university doesn't actually bring you any gratification for real. You might be given a good paperwork, AA.
I think that then it's basically give you just a little bit of higher way of also dealing with life on a different kind of scale.
Yes.
Because certain things, what I've realized since I come here in this country, like certain things that I've learned, I learn them differently in colleges and in different like centers and stuff like that, and that really does helps me to how do I go about here in the UK.
Life skills.
So,
life skills also comes to us from different angles. It comes from mom, it comes from dad if you have a dad at home. But in the UK, like the gentleman in Africa said, we have a culture problem.
Yeah.
If you live in the UK, we don't recognize culture. The system doesn't
minor-
allow you to favor culture.
Yeah.
Culture is thrown out of the window, although some society make sure that their children understand their culture.
Yeah.
But in most cases, the black community, if I can call it black community for the sake of argument, we are dispersed. We are dispersed from roots, and we can't shy away from those facts.
Yes.
The reason why I say we're dispersed from roots is that an African comes to England and he's now being taught something else. So he now thinks that something else is better than where he's coming from. A West Indian or a Caribbean comes to England and he thinks that this is the best way to live, and then he starts living a city life.
Yeah.
A city life.
Yeah.
City life doesn't allow you to know your customs.
Yeah. Like
it doesn't
what
allow
Lisa-
you to know your mom.
Yeah.
Your mom,
Yeah.
because your mom and dad becomes your equals. You don't do that in Africa.
No.
There's a lot of respect in Africa for elders. Here we don't respect no elders. In fact, you're not even expected to respect your teacher. So that is not the culture that brings harmony in the system. It does bring harmony in terms of obeying the law, but beyond that, there's not much to it, as we can see. Go ahead.
All right. So Lisa, do you agree with that, with what Ben is saying at the moment?
Good point, then.
I completely agree with Ben, but when he talks about respect goes both ways. Respect is
Parents, between
it's
parents
a
and
mutual
mama.
thing.
Yeah.
Like for example, I've heard and read so many cases where teachers and students get into altercations, and when you get to the bottom of it, it's more of a case where, because a teacher is a teacher and they're in the position, they use the power of authority that they've got with that position to kind of bully the kids.
Yeah.
Well, to some
I get
extent,
you.
that is a Western way of life. Which I mean, when I say where you're in the UK, you go to school and a student is made to know that your teacher is your equal. There's nothing like that in countries where they have cultures, you know, because the way you grow up at home, respect your mom, and when you do get to outside, you look at elderly people the way you look at your mom. But the way things are going now, we have sadistic teachers who themselves are not into any culture, if you know what I mean.
All right.
So
They
now
just take
you
the job because it pays. They haven't got the patience to deal with it.
well, even if they have, you see, if somebody has been in the culture before he became a teacher, you see, you carry your culture into the teaching system. Do you understand it? Now, if you didn't have it before you became a teacher, you come in there with theoretical approach to teaching, and you don't want to know who the child is. Do you get it? This is what is happening in our UK schools.
You just want to do it for the money and stuff
Right, this
like
is
that.
it.
You don't reach out.
You only follow
Oh,
protocol. When you follow protocol, you
Not
can't
just
deal
in
with it.
UK schools. Then there was an incident just this week. It took place, I think, in Jamaica, where the head teacher of a high school, a 13-year-old student, they were probably outside and they're probably singing songs or whatever, making their own beats while they should have been in class. And that teacher took it upon himself to use electrical wire to scold the child.
What?
That child went home bruised. The mom had to go to the police station.
Oh my days. And that can't be happening at the moment.
No, so there has to be like a line
A boundary.
how they are allowed to use the authority and the power that they've got
Yes.
to scold these kids.
Yeah, I must say that what you've just told us on air is an exceptional situation. I don't think anywhere in this African world you would have anybody whipping you with electric wire these days. I guess it happens between husband and wife who are aggressive to each other. But in schools are establishments. They are not a place where you deal with slaves and master.
Yeah.
So wherever you have a situation where a teacher goes to that extreme situation, we can't call it the norm. So we try and avoid not mixing up the context. So basically, I do appreciate what you said about the teacher going beyond his call of duty.
Yes.
Yes.
Go on, Ben. You can
All right.
continue.
So the issue about culture, like that gentleman from Africa said over the phone, they don't have knife culture over there, even though knife is readily available on the streets.
Yes.
Now
And
they
machete, we use it on an everyday basis. This is what I was saying. Me and Faith were talking the
he
other
did
day.
mention the fact that culture goes a long way because in Africa they're not into this.
Yeah.
The average kid,
So is this a way of life then? Do you think
it is the Western way of life because we live city lives rather than homely lives.
All right.
Most of us also lives in council flats, which are usually modulated. When I say
Yes.
modulated, it
Yeah.
means you go out and you come in like a yo-yo,
Yes.
like a robot.
Yes,
Now
yes.
children can't mix in certain situations like that. You really have to go to a community center to meet other people. You can't even talk to them on the streets.
True.
Now, that's what he means by culture. Because the culture over here doesn't allow you to talk to nobody on the bus, never mind any. Even sometimes when you
It
talk
is
to
to
the
a
bus
stranger.
driver,
Yeah,
even
you
if you
say-
talk to even if you talk to a bus driver, it's almost illegal.
Yes.
Do you understand it?
Yeah, I
So
understand.
normally children will talk to each other freely.
Yes.
Now we've got to a situation where nobody can even help a child. If you are not allowed to help the child, you can actually stay there and watch a child dying
Die.
off because the law says you
Culture.
must not
Not
even help.
help.
You must not even touch it.
Yeah.
You see, that's a bad culture. So
understand.
we are coming to agree and accept this sort of way of life, and it's not working
And
because
it's
that's not
messing
human.
up. It's messing up with you,
This is
with
it.
the way you
It's-
are
it-
and the way of
it's
life.
not
Do you
a ma-
agree with that, Lisa? Or
He's got a very strong point.
yeah. Here we have Mr. David, and that is so true. This one needs more, Ben, to be honest. Like the way of getting out into, because these things what you're saying really and truly, and we don't really look. If you could look at it at some point and certain level, then you could actually understood it and tackle it in so many different ways. You understand? But when you don't understand certain things, you can't really tackle it, can you? You just have to go by wherever is going. There's this one thing that David keep busy. Businia from Kenya. He says, back to the exchange program between Africa children and those living in the Western world. This is important. They will learn more about the value system here and abroad. Do you think that is true? Here he said, back to the program. He said, between the children living in the Western world and Africa, this is important for they will be able to learn more about values system here and abroad.
Some of them wouldn't last a week. The same thing I said. The kids nowadays, the survival kits that we were prepared with when we were growing up, these kids, they haven't got that mechanism.
Then of that mental
exchange program, it would need so much support for them to survive, like taking them from the Western world, bringing them into the cultural, traditional way of living. Some of them wouldn't last a week.
Yeah. This is all true. It is so true.
Yeah, I think you're quite right because if you bring up a child up in the UK, the child lives by
UK rules.
certain rules of laws in the UK where even to your parent becomes secondary and the system becomes the your first love, if you know what I mean. So you listen to child saying, stop that, mom, stop being stupid, mom. You see, that's not allowed in other cultures. Not even in the Jewish culture. You couldn't say that to an adult, never mind your mom. But you see, we have come to an environment where we now say that because the UK law says this, so I can't discipline my child because the UK law says that I can't have my child go to the to my neighbors and play in their house, blah blah blah. Now there's a reason why we do that, because the whole place has developed into inhuman kind of environment. Which is why kids cannot go from one house to another house to play without you escorting them to that place. Do you get it? You really have to walk your child to a place to go and play. That's like dealing with animals.
And I think back in different kind of countries and stuff like that, you have like young children, 5-7-year-olds. They're all about
They easily
in the field.
mingle.
In the field.
They're not into gangs.
Like that
Over here now, we every time we see kids get together, it's all gangs. Now that is because the system is telling us to see them as gangs. This is what's happening.
Same thing I said earlier on about the labeling.
Labeling, like what Lisa was saying, that basically if a bunch of them together, you see them as gang. And it's true. And you know what? It started to affect us as a peer also and as people, because when you do actually see these kids now, do you automatically, even though you're from that background that you know that, okay, this means like, togetherness or so, do you automatically feel like, oh, what, there's a gang over there, look at them over there, as you know what I mean? Do you automatically sometimes think that, Mom?
Me, personally?
Yeah.
No.
Because you know.
Because I know, like, remember, the change is just like what, what's his name, Ben?
Yes,
Ben.
Yeah, just like what Ben said earlier, these council flats are so modulated. Before they used to have like playpens and stuff like that downstairs at the bottom, where kids could gather and they could play. You could probably peep through your kitchen window and be watching your child playing outside with the neighbors. That don't exist anymore.
No.
So now, when the kids are outside school, they tend to, they've got phones now, they can communicate with their friends. They'll find an ideal place which is local to most of them and say, okay, let's meet at this point. When they meet at that point now, passers-by may be passing, say, a group of boys, and for them the trend is, or the trousers is below their waist. It's down, you can see their underpants or whatever it is that they're wearing. And they probably got their hoods on their head. And the first thing that comes to their mind, they've already been stereotyped.
Yes, definitely.
That's a gang. Well, if you see someone in a hoodie, it doesn't mean that they're a gang person or they're a bad person. We live in a cold country.
Yeah.
The hoodie is a fashion design. Like everyone or anyone can wear a hoodie. From a child come up to an adult. Now, if you see a 10-month-old baby in a hoodie, what are you going to say? That's a gang baby.
That's a gangster baby. That's a gangster baby.
On this note, let's introduce Daddy. There's a daddy over here at the moment on this one. Daddy, if you see a baby in a hoodie, would you say that's a gangster baby?
I just pack the tutu.
Oh my my dear.
God.
Oh, welcome to the Outya Show, ladies and gentlemen. We are live and direct here. We have Lady Lisa on the phone. We have Ben inside the studio, the man himself, Lyrical Facey. And we have all of our guests, Tally Talipan, Paulette, Severin, Nicole, Crystal. Oh, my sister there in Jamaica. Welcome on board. So much of you guys on here. I can't believe. Sorry if I didn't get you guys in contact. We are David Kippo, Paris, Marcia, David, Amina, Johnson, oh God, Adishiola, Paul. So many of you guys, I didn't see you. Sorry, my apology, but I hope you guys are, taking in everything, what is going on there. I hope you guys are learning from what is going on in there. All you parents, if you know a parent that you guys can share this to, please do so, because we are all out here to help each other. Real life situation, all right? Everything went up in out here. So, Lyrical Face, let's get back to the Uli very quickly. We have like 10 minutes to wrap up the show. As what, Lisa was saying, she was making a good point there because, laboring and stuff like that with the youths and the hoodies and all these things. So, so we all have to use our notion as, adults. And also, because I was asking her, do you actually, when you see these youths, do you see them as gangs or whatever? When you see these youths, do you automatically see them as gang members or just as, what do you see when you see them?
Same thing where Lisa did I say, it's like due to how them dress, then kind of get stereotyped, then kind of get label.
Yes.
May have youth said we were dressed like that, you understand? Baggy jeans and them hoodie, you understand?
Yeah.
But me just giving a little piece, you understand? Everything where Lisa say, where Ben say and Dave say and you say is a good input tonight still, you see me?
Yeah.
So just a little touch on the hoodie, yeah? Like, but they a long time still, you see me? So when hoodie start first come in, we as boys them round here, so was one of the first youth them to wear hoodie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a Linesdale used to make them, you understand?
Linesdale.
So Linesdale used to make them, and them used to make them for boxers.
Alright.
You know, if it's a professional or amateur boxer, you wear these tops. Because it's a hoodie, you're jogging them. It's a boxer's top, really, it's a sport top, you see me? So it's like when we start wear them now, where I say, yeah, the top nice, but then you get some other set of youth them where wear them now, and put on the hoodie and go out there and really do things in the hoodie because it's hard to recognize your face, you understand?
Alright.
So from this up, them pick it up and say,
branding.
yeah, them label it now if it's a stereotype now, anybody in a hoodie a gangster.
Alright.
So it's like certain clothes, if you see, like more times if you see a white boy in a hoodie, like nobody not really paying no mind.
Yeah, because
You know what I'm trying to say to you? If you see a white boy in a cap turn back way, nobody not really paying no mind.
okay.
You see me? So it's like, same thing what Lisa says, it's like stereotype, you see me?
Yeah.
And just want to touch a little at the point where Dave didn't make about the foreign exchange.
Yes.
Me never know them thing they real.
What, foreign exchange?
What you talk about? Them me not watch the movie on YouTube where they foreign exchange.
You joking?
What you talk about?
What happened?
What you talk about? The youth live in America and one youth live in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And them change them swap them.
Yeah.
You see me? He coming like the youth America, him out hard and not no behavior.
Yes, I go on.
So then go up on the foreign exchange program. May I watch this film and think say, yeah, so make up something and no
that-
dear from Kenya tell me say I read something. Yeah man, them send the youth from America go to Jamaica. What a watch YouTube, foreign exchange, the full film there on it, foreign exchange, trust me.
I'll
It's
chip in.
mad.
Let me
It
chip
can
in.
work.
Let me chip in a little bit about the
Foreign exchange.
exchange of children across cultures. The whole idea of exchange itself is a Western idea, but it's not well thought out because originally it wasn't actually meant to do what it says it's doing. Because normally if you take some children here from university, you take them over to Africa, you will expect them to go around there and learn how the Africans
are. Yeah.
But what we realized after history is that some of these students are followed by some elders and they are spies. They are not necessarily doing this work of exchange. The reason being that as a journalist, I've been in this business for some time now, and all we ever find out is that it's not really doing the job it says it will do. We have Germans going to Africa and all they go to do there, sometimes they even set up a laboratory, and it's been to a disaster for African countries. We know that, and
They've exploited them.
not only exploited them, but also implant. Like in South Africa, for instance, they started off the AIDS nonsense out of a laboratory. Out of the laboratory, the same thing happens in Sierra Leone
See, I'm
with
looking.
with
We are
in Sierra
real-life
Leone with the
situation,
Ebola.
guys.
So what we're having is that these exchanges are not exchanges for what it says it
This
will
is
do.
clear. Okay.
So it's not being favored at the moment by African countries because we find out if you go back in history, none of the historical ones actually did the job of exchange. Do you get it? And we very rarely find Africans taken abroad. We have more of the abroad
Abroad
coming to
into
Africa.
Africa, yeah.
So the whole thing is skewed up. And now that we know more, we find out that that idea doesn't work and it's not really honest idea. That's what.
But then, bear, what about some?
Bear in mind that the criteria that they make these exchange programs in, like, how many people are going to meet that criteria to actually qualify for the program?
You mean going to Africa or coming from Africa to this place?
When they're coming to Africa from this place.
Well, coming from this place to Africa, just basically they make them and they write the rules here, and they are the judge and jury of what goes on. Now the Africans don't know what's going on because they just see them as visitors coming in, and we need to welcome them, which Africans always do, but always to their own demise. This is what's always happened over the years and through history. Africans will welcome foreigners, and before you realize it, the foreigners are there for some other mission. Do you understand? And the Africans will tell you this story, and in this day and age, this is what we realize, and this is how Ebola come around, and this is how the entire South African population got infected with AIDS. All right. There are some other atrocities in Africa.
Yeah, Ben, this man put me a prisoner.
No. It's nothing to do.
Real life situation, ladies and gentlemen. We are live
This is
and
nothing to
direct
do with
here.
that because
Go on.
I'm a journalist myself, and now I'm a reporter. You understand? I'm a broadcaster, so I know what I'm talking
You see, you
about.
can't hide the truth. You have to
It's
speak up
nothing
the
to
truth.
do. It's nothing to do with being wrong to any Western nation or not.
Yes.
It's just the fact of
Reality.
life, and these are the things that happen. Now we can't shield evil over Africa.
Yes.
No, if it's an evil going over to Africa and we start shielding it and say because we live in the West, so we're not going to tell the world, that would be the most
Worse.
injustice to the Africans themselves.
And
Okay,
yourself.
so we can't go around that direction. All we can say is that this exchange program must stop and we forget about it. It's not working, at least not to the African favor. You know, it might work elsewhere.
But do you think it works for them favor though? Because I think Ben,
Of course
in that
it works
5%.
in their favor because they get to execute their ulterior motive of doing it in the first place.
Yeah,
Well-
but Ben was talking on a most like would I say then on a pathetical like company or whatever, you know, in a favor. But I'm kind of relating now, yeah, to the actual some of the youth and method. Do you really think that is like every one of them do not really benefit, or some of them do so? Because say even like from the Africa, but say from the youth that actually comes from here, that goes there, don't you really think that some of them really look at the lifestyle and stuff that they're living and things that I realize that, you know what, yeah, I have been, does you think that it helps them to look into some of themselves and realize that
The reason
I
why
have
I'm
been
able
very
to
bad to
talk
my
about
mom.
it, the reason why I'm able to talk about it clearly is because I've been involved in it.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
I, as a professional, I've been involved in
so
this
it is
whole
every
program.
100% of them that do so, not even one of them that is clean.
It's nothing to do with the children that actually goes there.
It's
It's
the
the
people.
system that take them there.
All right.
That isn't correct.
So, but do you think that some of the children, they, even though they create these systems, do you
Yes.
think that any of the children they benefited from these?
The children do benefit, but the minute you come back to the Western country, which is, let's say for instance, you come from UK, for instance, or you come from Germany, you go to Africa. On return back to your Germany, France, or England, or anywhere, you quickly assimilated back to where you were before you left. So your little vision of Africa, the only way you can actually escape the West is to say that, look, I'm emigrating to Africa, but you see, as a white skin, you're not going to survive that, you see, because you're going to be on your own, and everybody's going to say, oh, so and so is now living in this country, and we have to look after him. Now, the average person who leaves the UK is looked after by the UK government,
Definitely.
as you can imagine.
Yeah, I know
So
that.
he's never free while he's there in Africa like a free person. Do you understand? So unless, of course, he goes there on his own accord and he doesn't want to be looked after by the British consulate. Do you understand? That's when he actually lives a free life in Africa. But then, like we always say, you can't actually leave UK and get used to African life. It's almost impossible. The black man can, but a white child wouldn't.
No, definitely not.
No. So that's just a fact of life. It's nothing to do with being white.
Yeah,
or
but
black.
you know, Ben, let me
You're
just
going too political.
let me just go and dig down on this again. Differently from, even though as much as they said, that they put stuff on there, there must be one and few children out of it that basically they must have they must have taken some core values, learned certain things about different, even though, because yes, we
Yes.
we depict that,
You're right
people can
about
go
that.
on.
But
You're
can I
right
say
about
something?
that.
Can I say something? Like me hear one I say, yeah, but it's like me never did I talk about like a foreign exchange on a big political term. Me I talk about house to house,
Yeah,
home
yeah.
to
Well,
home.
well, what happens is
That
we
me I
can't
talk
have.
about.
Yeah.
We've not had house to house. With the ones that have house to house, like he's talking about,
Mm.
you notice that some of them, when they grow up in America, they say they want to go and settle down in Ghana.
Yeah.
You see, those are those who have been there on a personal level.
Yeah.
Like he's talking
Yeah, me I
about.
talk about personal.
Now, those who go on official level, like from university to Africa, you see, those don't work. It doesn't work. Now, if you do go down there personally, your mom takes you there, your dad takes you there, you find out that this umbilical cord that has been cut over the years, you kind of stitch it.
So may I ask, make I nip this in the butt very quickly. Okay, I understand every single thing what you say. So are you saying that these foreign exchange, people who create, because for a mother, as what Facey was saying, that personally, if you transfer your children there back and forth, then you are the one who's gonna have to pay that plane fare and things like that, and try to find that person, which is gonna be very hard,
It can
because
be very- it's
you're
gonna be very
back,
expensive.
yeah, and very hard for you to, because who are you going to trust your children to go live with, and you don't know the person, so
Yeah.
you get it. So then again, that will eradicate out, and then it comes back in where you have, as you said, the foreign exchange people. But even though we have this, and we have these international companies that put out these things, are you saying to me that 100 children, not even 50 out of it, haven't gained anything from it?
Most children
Because-
do gain from it. Like I said, by the time you return to your Western world,
All right.
you will remember what you saw in Africa.
All right.
Except,
all right.
except that
all right.
your system
Really?
here in the UK,
Okay.
for instance,
It's-
does not allow you to freely travel back.
I
Because when
understand.
you look at it, if it wasn't for the program, the average family here in the United Kingdom cannot take his child and say, I'm taking you to Kenya.
Already.
Yes,
Go
the average family here in the UK can't wake up one day and say, I want to take you to Lagos, I want to take you to Johannesburg, I want to take you to Freetown, or I want to take you to Ghana. You see, when you have situations like that, it will be better off to actually have a tourism company to take children there,
Yeah, understand.
rather than the system.
Okay, all right.
So when the exchange program happens, then you don't know whether this is a covert way of looking into one particular country or not.
So you wouldn't. So let me ask you, Ben. So you wouldn't you advise exchange program like what this man is saying right now?
I don't think it
Because
works.
he's from in Africa at the moment, and he's based on there in Kenya, and
He,
he's saying,
he suggested it on the basis that Africans themselves should be allowed to come here on
Alright.
that level, but they don't.
oh, only from
So
here
it's only
they
a
go
one,
there.
it's a
All
one, it's a
right.
single direction.
Alright.
Because if you say you're coming down here, you see this country they'll face you with the immigration rules and so on.
Yes,
yes. You see, they don't do that in Africa.
Yeah, and in Africa you don't do that. So
You
you
see,
keep
they don't
that
do
in
that
the
in
check.
Africa.
But
They
what do I
welcome
say?
you so easily.
But when I said Dave did that more, tell me if me wrong. Dave more did that dip on a pint like to say send them to Africa, yeah, for the youth them to learn moral
Yeah.
and principle and how to
Yes,
grow and
but-
respect elders.
Yeah, because
You see me?
Yeah,
That's
if
what I said.
you come back to UK, the UK doesn't allow respecting elders.
That
Because
what Dave I talk about. Then if you go to Africa and learn how to respect elders and learn how to say good morning
they
and
will
good
do,
night.
they will do if they go to Africa, but when you come back
And
to your
Jamaica
base, when you come back to your base, you're back to the same old thing that you knew.
Yeah.
And if you were to respect elders here in the United Kingdom, let's say for instance you enter a bus and you see an old lady trying to get on, if you try to help her, the thing is that it's not normal. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Even
But
as
they
a,
will think that
me
you're
as
coming
a,
to rob
even
them
me
or
as a
something.
grown up, if
Yeah.
I try
That
to
happens
help,
to me as
if
well.
I try to help an elderly person,
There
you
is
see,
that.
she might cut it herself out.
Yeah.
You know that leave me
Yeah.
alone. You know she won't say verbally,
Yeah.
but the body
Yeah,
language
body
will tell me
language
that.
tell you, I
You
tell
you
you.
just mind your business.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
And that's the way things happen in the
Yeah.
United Kingdom.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even if you learnt about respecting elders when you went to Africa on a short stint, you'll come back to UK and you have to forget it because it doesn't work
Really?
here.
Do you, maybe some it must have reside with some of them. Can't be just you learn. Because if you're learning, if you are basically
Is the
facing
moral-
this thing in this society, and then you go to somewhere else and you really see that, oh man, I was actually living life wrong. I was actually taking some of these things. There must, if you're really of that kind of, you must have learned some morals. or
You will
certain-
learn. You will learn morals,
and keep it.
there will be
But they
some
won't be able to
guilt.
keep it. You're
You
saying?
can you can
Yeah.
keep it, but when you come to UK, no matter how much you want to keep it,
All right,
there's
it doesn't
nowhere to
allow you.
practice it. There's
All
nowhere to
right,
practice it.
all right.
You know?
Do you
Yeah.
agree with that, Lisa?
I always say, like, knowledge without application is useless. Now, at some point in time, whatever you've seen outside of your comfort zone, like if someone was to go to Kenya for a period of time and they've learned a bit of the culture and they see how respect is given there and everything, it might not apply in every situation, but at some point in time, it's gonna play a relevant role.
You're right. You're right. Yeah,
Someone
you're
might
right.
find themselves in a particular situation where they need to create that atmosphere in order to survive there. You get what I'm saying? It might not work with everyone.
Yes,
Right,
but
you're
some.
right.
And try to keep your moral too, because you might teach others who are around you too,
Yes.
who don't know that.
Definitely.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yes.
So it's give and take. It's certainly some to some according to the person and
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, man, live and direct. No, live and direct here at the moment. Oh my God, Lisa, guess what? We have just passed our the show was so.
Thank you.
All right,
And
big
we
up,
go-
Lisa.
yeah,
Big
before
up.
we
Man,
go-
all the listeners there, no?
Yeah, before we go, we're not finished yet. We passed our hour, but we're just gonna go a few more minutes and then we're gonna end it. And that was really good. We have heard from Lisa. We have heard from David from over there in Kenya.
Yeah.
We have learned from Ben over there, the media personals. Over here from Lyrical Facey as the artist. We just have one more thing to touch in before entertainment. Quickly, do you think that entertainment is important within our society as much as that is can cause a little bit of stigma?
Listen, entertainment can't die.
Drop it. Whether it's dancehall, hip hop, R&B, souls, reggae, ragga. I would say raggaroogie.
It applies to everything. Even if you're watching your TV, it's
Sports,
entertaining.
anything.
If you're listening to a talk show or music or whatever, it's entertaining.
Definitely.
Entertainment can never die. The way entertainment night, even the Queen requested ever sponsored me.
It's true.
Look at
We
you,
go
yeah.
dance for the Queen and all these things and stuff like that. Yeah. I second.
Easy, with a cup of tea, let's entertain.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Don't go away. I'm Lady Lisa. We're live and direct here. And to talk about entertainment, I must bring in this lovely thing that we're talking about is a pure elegance, unique fusion. The Mother's Day Gala group. We are going to call them and we're going to talk a little bit about the entertainment and what is going on this night. So if you are a carer, or if you have your carer, I should say, or your mom or your auntie, anybody that looks after you, and then this is the basically event that you guys need to go to. It's on March the 31st, and it's between 5 p.m. to 12:30, and we've got dance group there, which is Adanta dance group. We have also have special guests. They're gonna be like sing off, dance off, cook off, and the food will be from Unique Fusion Catering Group. I'm gonna talk to them, and then you guys can hear a little bit more what they offer. So if you're having a birthday, christening, or anything like that, then these are the people that you contact. So come and catch me on the red carpet, very live, where we will be doing interviews about everything that is happening there. So treat yourself, moms. So we're gonna go now. Take a little break. Thinking, and we're gonna talk. Lady Lisa. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here on the Outya show, Realifesituation. Every single thing that you have said and stated to us, we have taken points from it, and we have learned, and I hope all my listeners as well, they have learned from it. Is there anything positive that you would like to say, or anything that you're doing at the moment you would like to give a shout out to, or anything positive you would like to say to anyone out there at the moment? Youths, moms, anyone.
I want to say shout out to everybody that's tuned in to the live and that's listening to our conversation. And we all need to laugh, learn, and grow, and just love each other.
Definitely. And give and take.
And
Well,
give and take.
well, that's your
Compromise.
opinion.
We need to learn to compromise.
Definitely. And definitely, it seems like we're gonna have you as a regular guest on our show because we do like this challenge and this conversation, my darling. So, ladies and gentlemen,
It's
yeah.
a pleasure being here.
Tell
It's a
me,
pleasure. And the co-host as well, Ben and Pink.
Thank you very much for calling in. Thank you very much for calling in.
So much away from that.
You're welcome anytime.
Trust me.
Big up, Lisa. Big up. No want more chat next time. Go. I'll be a political chatter. Go on. And just back me out.
Oh dear daddy.
No, it's
That's
good,
it.
it's good,
So,
it's good, it's
you
good.
know, and this
I can feel the love and the combination of all the energies, and I'm sure we've impacted so many people that are listening, and people will be talking about it, and they'll be sharing what they've heard us mention today.
Yes.
And, people can actually look into their situations and relate to what we've said. So it's really been a plus me getting the opportunity, for instance, to come on this platform to kind of share with people. like I said, I'm not a qualified person. These are just my opinions.
Yes, and trust me,
Yes.
your opinion is as most
She
valuable. Like
qualifiable.
yeah, exactly.
She
Your
qualified.
opinion,
And the world
is,
I come.
yeah, your opinion is more like it's just like the doctor.
I'll have to challenge you on that one on the next program. There's nothing called an expert on anything. You can be knowledgeable about something, but forget about the expert side of it. That's the way to go.
So, man.
Okay. I accept that. Then. I accept.
So we're gonna go the next level then, all right? So thank you so much, Lady Lisa. It's been a pleasure to have you here on board, Mom. It's so amazing. You guys on here, if you think that you want back Lady Lisa each week on our show, not each week, but we go on monthly now as we speak. Maybe if it's come the way that we want it, you'll have it twice in the month. But for now, we are here. So from us, from Ben, from Lyrical Facey, from Lady Lisa, who would like to say, Lady Lisa, thank you guys, thank you so much, and it's been a pleasure to have you here on the show.
Thank you, guys.
Say bye, say ciao.
Bye, ciao, ciao.
All right, thank you guys. So, that was a wonderful Lady Lisa at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. She was live and direct here on the Outya show, and I know you guys must have learned so much from her at the moment. I've learned so much. It is quite interesting. And who can we learn from? Who is the best person for us to learn from? Ourselves, moms, and things like that, people around us. All right. So we have one more phone call, and then we are gonna about to leave this place. So thank you guys so much. It's been over the hour, but guess what? I want to keep this because this is very interesting and I like it. Next time we will do a little bit more. Hey Nicole, how you doing? Welcome on board. Share the link and tell a friend. Let me put it on speaker here.
Hello.
Hello, good night. Hello, Mom. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. You?
I'm fine, thank you, my dear. You're live and direct here on the Outya show at the moment, where we're talking about religion, we're talking about dementia, apprenticeship, and entertainment. Welcome to the Outya show. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of our promoters that we have here. First of all, let me just ask you quickly, briefly, as we go down into society. Do you think we're on the topic of apprenticeship? Do you think that apprenticeship is important for children? Do you think that apprenticeship is important for children who is just coming out of school or things like that, or you think it is better for them to go into school, secondary school, primary school and basic secondary and university, and go out there for a career or a job? Which one do you think is more better for
I
you?
must say, I've lectured in colleges across London for a long time.
Yes.
And college is not for everyone, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
Education is for everyone, but there are different avenues that we can take to achieve education.
Yes.
There are a lot of young people who they're not keen, or it's very difficult for them to be in a classroom and be reading things. Take it on board. But for example, if they were given an opportunity to do apprenticeship or to work
Yeah.
and to get the experience while doing something like hands-on experience,
Yes.
a lot of people benefit more
From that
from that.
education.
And I was listening to something yesterday, and what you said is that they were talking about exams and saying this will define you and define your future.
Yes.
And this young man, he was saying that the exams will not define your future, because in this room you will have an artist who doesn't necessarily need to have to pass maths, or you will have someone who's going to do something who necessarily will not need to pass history or geography. It depends on the path that they take in life. So what you should encourage young people to do is to look for their path.
Yes.
And look for where they can do something that will make them successful, instead of telling them that they have to do these exams and these exams will define their future. It's the same thing for some young people. Friendship will be great, and for some, depending on what they're thinking of for the future, they definitely will have to go to college.
Definitely.
Yeah, thank you very much. There's something called I'm not sure whether it's still on. I'm not in the reading class anymore. But we used to have something called career guidance. That career guidance, when I was involved in the educational system, I would advise that the only person to offer career guidance isn't from school. It could actually be the parent, it could be the uncle if you have one, it could be the auntie if you have one. And these are people who have their own profession one way or the other and can say to you, I know this child from her small times, from youth, from kindergarten, and I've seen her or him grow up. I think she's good at this, I think he's good at that. You see, that is the way to actually have a career guidance in case mom or dad can't do it. Now, if mom and dad are too close to him to tell him what to do or advise him on, oh, look, you're good at this, go for that. I don't care if you don't go to university, but I think you should go for that. Now, that is what we call career guidance. We don't all have to go to university because I didn't go to university, but I'm a programmer. Do you get it? All right. So now, when we come to that, somebody like me will say to you, all you need the basic education. You can go up to polytechnic level, and then you can decide that you really want to go into work or you just want to carry on. Now, we have a lot of factors that actually decide whether you carry on or not. It could be money. You might not be able to afford school fees, and then you decide, look, I think I'd rather go and work now in the banks as a clerk, or somewhere else doing something else. Now, career guidance will tell you straight away, don't feel sorry that you didn't do a doctorate degree because it's not the end all. Do you get it? But anybody who's been to Cambridge will always advise his own child or girl that, look, you've got to go there, you must complete, you must get your certificate, you must get AA in your, degrees, whatever it is you're trying to do. But the thing is that if we have a career guidance, we won't be ashamed to actually drop into the profession that we're best at.
So you think career guidance is good in parenting and
very good from the parents to start with, and if it's not coming from the parents, if you have an extended family, there should be one uncle or one auntie who can say, look, I know Janet is good at this. Janet, I want you to come to my office regularly just to come and see what I do there. Now, she can pick it up from there and say, look, I think I like the way mom's working at work. She's taking me to a hospital before. I like to be a nurse. Do you get it? Now, she might not have thought of being a nurse, but having been taken to the hospital while mom works, that could help her. So these are the ideas about career guidance that I'm bringing up because I came up like that. My dad would buy me quite a lot of things to do with architecture. I got into architecture. I got up to a point where I'm very good, and then I drop off doing other things.
So what are you saying? Are you not agreeing with apprenticeship? I
go with apprenticeship a lot.
Okay,
it's
more than
the academic qualification, because most people, especially the black community, they would find out that even if you were good at your university, paperwork, you might not necessarily get a job. You might end up with me, who is a craftsman. But being to university will help you to succeed as well.
Yeah, and go further in life and even higher education and higher quality
of
life.
Everything's got a give and take. That's the way I see it.
Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you so much, Mom, for that input into maybe so do you agree with what Ben just saying just now? Unique fusion?
Yes, I totally agree. It's just like adding to what I also said, it depends on the path that you want to take. I have taught apprenticeship in childcare, and a lot of people, that's what they want to do. It's good for them. They go into the nursery and they're doing their level 3 while they're learning and they're training on the job.
Yeah.
And then a lot of them go on to be like nursery managers and stuff. It just depends.
Yeah.
Some people do better while working and gaining the skills, while some people do better academically. And for me, I'm an academic person.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, my take on apprenticeship is still good because I have taught quite a few apprenticeship courses.
Yeah.
And
so may I ask you this, because the conversation that we're having the conversation and we want to basically pencil out everything and we also want to find a solution about it because It don't make sense. We reason about it and we don't find a solution. So what I want to really determine from here, okay, so apprenticeship, we determine that it is good to choose it because you get to learn and also you get, you're in job at the same time. Do you think one of the main issue I want to, do you think that pertaining to what we see going on in society today, and basically a lot of people come out of education and stuff and they do not really get the job, as we say. So do you think that in today's society we should more gear the children then to apprenticeship skills instead of that? Because even though, as we said, most of them may have the thing to do the the manual, the thingy work, the actual mentality work, yeah, but they don't really get the job. You do the universities and stuff, but you don't really get after you come from the university, as they say, because of certain things, because society is so different and duplicate. So you don't get the job. Do you think that in today's society, 2020 now, 2019, 20, do you think that most 95% of the children out of 100 should more geared to that? Or you still stick to the fact of whatever you think their choices are they're good at?
Well, I'm not going to say 95%, but I think that a larger percentage of young people
Should
get the opportunity to be exposed to apprenticeship.
Yes.
That's my
Because I think that will more aid them. I agree with you, Napa, because you know why? I'm looking at it on a level like I think that will more aid them to like kind of get up to go and do something instead of because in education your brain can be okay, you have this, but like what do you do, where do you go, and even do you do just even study alone to get the stuff done, you're tired and things like that. So yeah, I think apprenticeship. So parents out there, do you agree? I'm David, I'm a Petra, Alipu, I'm Precious, Stacy, Nikoi, all of you guys over there. If you think that apprenticeship is more better for children, who are coming out of school now than university, then hit us up. Let us know. What do you think, Lyrical, Facey?
You see, the way me see apprenticeship and them thing, them, I don't really know too much about it, but where me see it is like, you take a man from the jungle. You understand? You take a man from the jungle who never see the city before.
Yeah.
Put him in the city, he might go lost. You take a man from the city who never see the jungle before, put him in the jungle, he might go lost. So to me, apprenticeship is like that. Where do you want to go with it? Where is it going to benefit you in your life?
No, what it is, apprenticeship is like, basically, they have a job, a particular job, that you go there, you learn it. Just like what they call apprenticeship here, we would call it back home, we call it trade. So when you leave school, you go learn a trade. So you go learn it to make a whatnot, or you go learn to be welding, you go learn to be, workman, or things like that.
Yeah.
And when
back home, you can learn to be a driver.
Yeah, you learn to be a trade and then you get the job. Only thing different back home, you maybe learn the trade, but you don't really have the person to do the trade, but you learn it, you have that trade for life.
That's it.
In here, up here, apprenticeship, like what they have the apprenticeship skills is basically sometimes in, not even in midwifery or things like that. What would you say Unique Fusion in the UK? You have apprenticeship skills in like what would you say?
Well, you can go and learn how to use a camera, for instance.
Electrician.
Yeah, electrician
You
and
could be
things
an
like that.
electrician.
Yes.
You could be a plumber.
And you have apprenticeship in like beauty.
Yes, and things like that.
You have apprenticeship in like food technology.
Yeah.
You have
But what
apprenticeship
but then more specific where you think they can go, okay, well, I'm gonna learn this job with you and I'm gonna stick in this job. You see, like what Joshua would be saying, he's doing in a camera work, and then you would basically go to wherever that company is, camera crew.
You go to a studio.
You learn it, and
Exactly.
then you figure from there.
If you're a plumber, you go around and join a plumbing group.
Yes.
You learn the trade. And the chances of you being a plumber yourself, working for yourself, is there. And if you want to continue to work as an employee, the chances are there for you to go from one company to the other if you think you want to up your career.
One more thing. Do you think that it is very important for the elders within our communities also now, like people who have trades and things like that, is very important for them to pass it down? I think they should have. We should have a workshop for that.
If you're somebody who is a social observer, which is why when somebody like me talks over the air, some people think I'm a bit too strong, I'm coming on too strong. The UK system needs to know that if you don't have a family unit, you are unable to pass your skills to your children, because if you let me just give you an example. If you're a cameraman, for the sake of argument, and you take your child with you all the time to auditions and wherever you're filming and so on, the child he or she picks it up from you, and she learns the trick of the trade rather than being in the university. Now, if he or she ends up actually going to school to learn, it becomes a buffer for him or her.
All right.
So that's the
More.
way this vocational training goes. So when you do go to academics, you can make your mind up, do I fancy to be an academic, or do I really want to be a craftsman?
Yes.
You see, so this little training you get from school helps you, if you're a cameraman, to actually make sure you get a better production. But if you haven't been to school, there is limited scope in what you can do, because you're limited
Yeah, you're just learning,
in
yeah.
knowledge. Yeah, this is it.
So both is important, we would say, but in most cases, 665, when you say 95 as unique fusion, we say 65. More of parent and support would say advice. I would, to be honest, I would really advise, let my children, the children get the education, but really advise them also into that, because I think that it helps to eradicate laziness.
Yes.
And so forth. It helps to aid them to push
Yes.
more forward.
Yeah,
to get them
for
to do
instance, if
something.
I've seen ladies, females, who have boutiques and hairdressing salons, they take their children there to learn what they're doing there. The children don't necessarily have to be a hairdresser, but because mom is one of those hairdressers,
She
she
becomes that
gets to
hairdresser.
know about it.
And we learn those things back home from within our home already, don't we? Unique and stuff like that. So yeah, which is good. Okay, just one more question before we go, because we are running out of time and things like that. So we talk about apprenticeship and we talk about religion. Do you think that religion could help to save the children a little bit? Not religion, but basically going to church and things like that, because we know religion come on a big scope. Do you think that going to get there, because there's this group called I've seen them online there, Space Nation. And basically what they do, they're just a young group that basically people who have been offended before and stuff like that, they have bring them in and kind of help to change them. Do you think something like that is good to society? And the children. I'm asking you, Unique, on the phone.
I know, I'm not sure what I'm going to say about this now.
All right.
And for me, personally,
Yeah.
I believe in religion.
Yeah.
I think it's good for me, and I encourage my child to be a part of it. That's what I'm going to say. I don't really want to comment too much where that is concerned.
All right. All right, I see you. So there is somebody screeching from the studio, you're laughing there. All right. Thank you guys so much for that. So let's go into entertainment a little bit, right? Into the entertainment side. Do you feel that entertainment is important to society?
Yes, I think so.
Oh.
And we need entertainment.
That's something. All right, it's true, because in entertainment also a member of that we just spoke to on the phone, and basically we asked him about entertainment as well, and they were saying that, oh yeah, it is important, because even the queen herself sometimes need a bit of entertainment within her lives. So we definitely need entertainment. And with that said, I would like to officially introduce this. So all of you guys online, if you don't know who was on the phone, let me just introduce you. And we are talking to the Unique Fusion Promotion Group, and they have this beautiful event that will be taking place over there in Camberwell. And this is for all you mothers out there, or all you carers, or whatever you do. Even you as a mom yourself, you can come and treat yourself. And it's a black and white event. But before I said anything, let the lady herself, who's on the phone, introduce a little bit about it after this.
Okay. Hi everyone. Just to let you know a little bit more about the event. We have an event catering company, and we specialize in events. So it's called special occasions, weddings, funerals, birthdays, christening, baby showers, private parties, and so forth. You can contact us. And we will be putting on this event. It's called the Pure Elegance Black and White Mother's Day Gala Dinner, which will be held on the 31st of March in Camberwell, and that it will be held on Mother's Day. So it's a special day to come out and celebrate motherhood, mothers, we've done a lot. We're the backbones, and it's good to celebrate us. It's going to be a really, really elegant day, evening rather. We start at 5 and we finish at 12:30 a.m. So you can still go home, rest, and go to work the next day. We'll be having lots of entertainment like saxophonists, guitarists, gospel singers, belly dancers, an award-winning African dance group, and lots more games, you know, lovely music, great food, and it's going to be a fantastic atmosphere.
Yes, and for the tickets, please, could you tell them what kind of available, you know, of food and what they will be getting on the night?
Okay, you will all be getting a canapes to start with complimentary champagne. You then move on to a 3-course meal which consists of starters, main course, and dessert.
Yes.
And along with that, you also get your entertainment and music, and it's going to be great music for everyone to enjoy. We have 2 different types of tickets. Single ticket is for £50, and you can also get a table for 10, and for £475, thereby you get a discount of £25. So if you want to sit with your family and friends on the day, I would encourage you to get a table for 10. And all the tickets are prepaid, so they must be purchased in advance.
Definitely.
Because no tickets will be at the gate.
Oh, there's no ticket at the gate, guys, so you better hurry
no
up.
tickets at all. And the tickets are going fast because
Yes.
a lot of people are interested in the event.
Definitely.
Obviously, they want to come out and celebrate motherhood on that day.
Yes. And I want to
come
treat.
on, everyone, come on, ladies, come and get your tickets.
Definitely.
Husband, take your wife, take your mom, take your carer, take whoever. Just let's come out that day and have a great day.
Definitely.
You know?
Thank you so much for your time on here. And the dance group you'll be featuring is Adanta dance group over there.
Dance group, and
Yes.
they are an award-winning dance group. They perform for the Queen and everything, and it's going to be amazing.
Definitely. And some luxurious food from Fusion, the unique.
Lovely, lovely food,